Okay, I'd like to say a little more. I won't go through this again. I'll just leave it for you guys to read. I've just done a video on this, breaking this down. It's all to the number of Obama's name. Obama setting up through the United Nations and with the full support of Pope Francis. The New World Order has been established by the letter, by the letter, meaning the agreements that the nations have to sign off on to make this universal law, to make this a collective system where all nations are obliged, because they have willingly signed on to it, to fulfill the wishes of this United Nations agreements. Okay, the big things being September, the United Nations 70th meeting, where the Pope endorsed and backed it, and now, just beginning today, the United Nations Paris Climate Change Summit. These two events are radically going to change our world, turn our world upside down into 2016. This is the establishment of the fourth kingdom of the beast, being the book of Daniel in the Bible. This is the New World Order signed off on by all nations. They're all in agreement, let's say. Or they're working towards an agreement now with the next 2 weeks on this Paris Climate Change Summit. And this is all done to the number of Obama's name because he's the head man, he's the kingpin, he's the leader of all of this. If you look at photos and videos, he's always pictured front and center in the middle of a group for a photo shoot, whether it be the G7, the G20, the United Nations gig that just went on in September. He's always front and center of the pictures, and the world looks to him. Well, the United Nations puts him forward as the go-to man. Here in Australia, he's on the news every night. Whenever there's a development in the world, Obama has to have his say. He has to have his approval. It's like as if we need his approval or whatever, so on and so forth. So you just can't deny that he is the most important man in the world. Okay, he's the Antichrist, for Pete's sake. That's why, and this channel has proven that in a different way that other people haven't tackled. We're all giving our own information, our own giftings, you know, of what we have, our own understandings. Well, this is what I do. And what is this all working towards? If you're a Christian and these guys are Luciferians, they're Satan, devil worshippers, okay, they know that God's wrath is coming because he's not happy with what's being set up on this world. The Tower of Babylon all again. The Tower of Babylon all over again, okay? Nimrod. Obama is the new Nimrod. United Nations Paris Climate Change Summit is preparing the nations for the coming trumpet and vial judgments in 2016. Or roundabout after that time period, after the tribulation of those days, just like it says in Matthew, Mark and Luke, the sixth seal will open, the rapture will occur, and the wrath of God, the trumpet and the vial judgments will begin. So, any time after the end of that count. Now, have a look at my blue board. I call it my blue board. It's my blue board chart. It's just simply acknowledging and believing that we've witnessed what we've seen. Obama receiving the Nobel Peace Prize 1260 days later, stood in the Church of the Nativity, the Sanctuary Fortress, which is what it's known as, which is what it's written up as in the book of Daniel. And 1335 days on from there, Matthew chapter 24. Therefore, when you shall see the abomination, the desolation standing in the holy place, we arrive at the 15th of November 2016. This has nothing to do with date setting the return of Jesus Christ for the rapture. This is just following the instructions of Daniel that we were told to watch and mark in your calendar and mark the days off. The Daniel count days, the 70th week, the covenant made with many week, that 7-year period that it's called the tribulation of those days. We're to look forward to them, we're to acknowledge them, see them, know when it started, know when it ends. And, you know, immediately after the tribulation of those days, Jesus Christ comes back to gather his church. Still at an hour and a day that no man knows, but there's a big difference. You can know the signs right up to the time. That's what do you think it says? When you see all of these things take place, then you have to visually see them to participate in that, in what Scripture says. then look up and you'll know that your redemption draws nigh, because that time period is over. And hopefully this, guys, shows you that these elitists know who Obama is. They put him there in power. They're following the biblical script, following Revelation 13:18 to the number of his name, and everything is being instituted on the earth in replacement of God, right? 25th of September, Shakira sang Imagine by John Lennon for the opening of the 3-day part of the development goals, 25th to the 27th, where they instituted and brought forth to the world's attention the 17 global goals for sustainable development 2030 agreement. And she sang Imagine a world without God to open, and then who comes out straight after that? The Pope to speak. Bible prophecy in your face. Thanks for listening.